A recurring theme across our research has been the importance of finding a good team. So, could you talk us through a little bit about how your team has developed throughout the spin out process and the advice you'd give to others to making a successful team?
Right. So yes, team is very critical, but then to build a good team, you also need to be open-minded about it's okay to rebuild teams because you learn. So I think so Ergo's team has changed throughout the years. Our first team and the team we have now is so different in terms of personality culture. But because I was also learning as a founder along the way of who I am as a leader, I think that's also something that I wasn't very aware of what leadership means, especially as a CEO of the business. You basically shape the culture you're building. So I feel like my first team, I wasn't as mature as I am now to lead them. So it was interesting. They were very skilled, of course, but I think what like perhaps the culture we had back then isn't the same as now, and it's important to like be okay with that your culture evolves for the requirements of the business. And my first hire, I still remember it was brilliant because I feel like he really took the risk to join such a small startup and such an inexperienced founder. And we really got along. We hustled through a lot of the earlier challenges. And one thing I think what I liked about the member was like the calmness they bring, which complements. Sometimes I can get a bit too excited, adrenaline rushes all over the place. I think that personality balance, besides the skill complementary side, was very helpful in the early stages. And then most of our team members are hired through Angel List, which I still find very useful because it's a great platform for people who want to work for startups and startups looking for people who want to work for a startup to match. And it's important that the applicants already has a thirst for the startup pace or the startup environment, because if they're not startup friendly to begin with, there's a huge learning curve for them mentally to join this type of environment. So in the past, we've also hired a few much more experienced candidates who has always been in corporate, and then it didn't necessarily work out in the end because of the mindset was so different. And that's one of the things to look out for is in the interview process. These are things you can ask. I think, yeah, interviewing questions, you also evolve them as you hire more people. And it's really critical, I learn now, to give more time to early interview processes when you're trying to get to know someone.